Alright everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're new to the channel, warm welcome. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about a super important subject, and that is when I personally think is the time to buy altcoins. I'm making this video because I have comments all the time, I have messages on Discord, Twitter, etc. of people saying, you know, is now the time to buy, is now the time to buy, is it time to be bullish on altcoins? Is it altcoin season? So I thought I'd make this video where we talk about the Bitcoin dominance, we talk about the altcoin market cap, and then we move over into a couple of altcoin Bitcoin pairs, and we see, you know, what happened when Bitcoin bottomed back in 2018. And I think this will give everyone who hasn't heard my opinions on this before a better idea of when is the right time to buy the dip on altcoins. So let's jump right into the video today. In this video, we are going to be overlapping these charts, but just quickly for this, we're going to be looking at Total 2 and the Bitcoin dominance. So I don't want anyone to get left behind, so I'm going to quickly explain these two charts. Let me get rid of this. So we have two different charts that we're going to be talking about today. We're going to be talking about Total 2. As it says up here, this is the total crypto market cap excluding Bitcoin. The other way of saying that is it is simply the altcoin market cap. So you can see when the altcoin market cap goes on a run, you can imagine that we're having an altcoin season. When the Total 2 goes down, it means altcoins are not doing as good. Total 2 goes up, altcoins are doing good. Total 2 goes down, altcoins are doing bad. That's basically the gist of things. So you can consider this the altcoin market cap. The second chart that we're going to be looking at is the Bitcoin dominance. And the Bitcoin dominance is simply the percentage that Bitcoin takes up of the total crypto market cap. So an explanation of that is if you get every single crypto that currently exists and you lump together all of their market caps, the Bitcoin dominance is the percent of that pile of money that Bitcoin takes up. So at this moment in time, we're sitting at 47.5%, meaning that out of all the money in the crypto ecosystem, let's say hypothetically right now it's at 1 trillion, this would mean that 475.2 billion would equate to Bitcoin's market cap. So let's jump right into the video. What you can see here is we're going to overlay these two charts. Now, if we get an overlay of the Bitcoin dominance and the total crypto market cap, you can probably start to see that they are basically inversely correlated, and we'll talk about why in just a moment. If we look at the total crypto market cap excluding Bitcoin, so I'm just going to call this the altcoin market cap from now on, you can see this was all the way down here at 40 million in 2015, and it had a massive bull run all the way up to 2018, up to 469 billion. That was quite a season for the altcoins. And what was happening in the Bitcoin dominance during that time? Remember, the Bitcoin dominance is simply the percent of the total crypto market cap that Bitcoin takes up. So you can imagine, while the Bitcoin dominance is going down, it means that altcoins are outperforming Bitcoin, and when the Bitcoin dominance is moving up, then Bitcoin is outperforming altcoins. So they're basically inversely correlated. So what happened? The altcoin market cap goes on a massive run up, and it tops out in January of 2018. What happened on the Bitcoin dominance at that period in time? Well, the Bitcoin dominance was dropping. It was massively dropping, and you can imagine why. Like I said, altcoins moved from about 40 million up to 469 billion, and they pretty much left Bitcoin in the dust. You know, you had cryptos like XRP back then that were making thousands and thousands of percent gains, and during that time, obviously, Bitcoin was performing very well, but altcoins were outperforming. Then we had a trend shift, and that is what I've marked with this vertical ray here. This vertical ray signifies both the top of the Total 2, once again the altcoin market cap in 2018, and it signals the bottom of the Bitcoin dominance in January 2018. What happened after then? Well, the altcoin market cap starts to capitulate and it starts to break down, and while this happens, the Bitcoin dominance goes on a massive rally. Just like I said, these are inversely correlated. When the Bitcoin dominance does bad, altcoins are probably doing well. When the Bitcoin dominance is doing good, then it's outperforming altcoins. It's as simple as that. So the Bitcoin dominance went on a massive rally from January of 2018 all the way up to when it topped out in September of 2019. But you can actually see it had a few spikes along the way, and the actual bottom on the altcoin market cap was, oops, wrong line. Oh, I didn't favorite it, that's why. apologies, vertical ray, you can see the exact bottom was right here. And during this bottom on the altcoin market cap, this was when the Bitcoin dominance went for one last spike. What happened after this spike? The altcoins went on another alt season. So there's been a lot of people recently in the past month or two calling for an altcoin season, but in my opinion, we've already seen it. We've been running up on the altcoins. Altcoins have been outperforming Bitcoin since March of 2020. A lot of you will know this as the pandemic scare. Since then, altcoins have been moving up a lot faster than Bitcoin. What has the Bitcoin dominance been doing during that time? So once again, altcoin market cap moves up, the Bitcoin dominance goes down. We pump up momentarily as the altcoins have about a week of weakness, and this is what I mean. They're so correlated. If you look right here, I need to get my arrow out now, but you can see this 1 week that we had right here, a big red wick to the downside. It might not look like a big red wick because, you know, we're zoomed out so we can encompass the entire market cap, but believe me, this was a huge drop in the altcoin market. The altcoin went down and the Bitcoin dominance went up, and at this period in time, once again, Bitcoin dominance was outperforming the altcoins, so Bitcoin dominance went up, altcoins went down. What happened after that is altcoins continued their rally. This was a lower high for the Bitcoin dominance, and the Bitcoin dominance broke all the way down to just above its 2018 levels. What happened since then is, once again, you can see the Bitcoin dominance down here in 2018. The bottom perfectly correlates to the top of the altcoin market. However, coming over to the Bitcoin dominance here, you can actually see the Bitcoin dominance, the exact bottom was right here in January 10th, 2022, but the altcoin market cap didn't actually top out then. It topped out, you know, a month or so, 2 months before, but you can very much see that this bottomed, and round about this time was pretty much when the altcoin market topped. So what has been happening since then? Well, you know, I've been talking about this in a lot of my videos, but the Bitcoin dominance has been on a massive rally recently, and I can pull it up on this chart because I've got a little bit more data over on this browser, but you can see it's been chopping sideways, it's been breaking out, it's been building momentum, and in my opinion, I think we're coming all the way up to 60%. So if this does happen, then, you know, I've been talking about this, altcoin market cap is inversely correlated to the dominance. So in theory, if the Bitcoin dominance moves all the way up to 60% or even higher, because bear in mind, you know, you would imagine that diminished returns would be playing over time because there's a plethora more of altcoins in the market, but this is actually not what we saw. The bottom of the 2018 bear market, or rather the bottom of the bear market for the Bitcoin dominance, this doesn't actually exactly correlate with Bitcoin's bottom. Bitcoin bottomed right here, December 10th, 2018, but we broke out. The Bitcoin dominance broke out. We made a higher low, which is very interesting because there's, you know, 100 times more altcoins right now, but Bitcoin still held its ground against altcoins, which just shows how strong Bitcoin is. Bitcoin at this moment in time is breaking out of a very important pattern on the Bitcoin dominance, and the last time this happened, the Bitcoin dominance went on a massive rally, and this is what we just talked about in this inverse chart. It goes on a rally and the altcoin market massively capitulates. So at this moment in time, I'm still hearing people saying, you know, when are my altcoins going to do 100x, when altcoin season, but look at the Bitcoin dominance. The Bitcoin dominance is going on a massive rally, and it only seems like, you know, 5 months ago, which, you know, it seems like a long period of time, especially for crypto, but bear in mind, these market cycles can take a long period of time. From the bottom of the Bitcoin dominance over to when it topped, you can see this literally took 600 days. Now, am I saying that altcoins are not going to be performing well for 600 days? No, I don't think these have to exactly correlate to what happened before, but what I am saying is, while the Bitcoin dominance is going up, obviously none of us have a crystal ball. I don't have a crystal ball. I can't give you an exact date on when the Bitcoin dominance is going to top. I can, however, analyze these markets. I can recognize that these are inversely correlated, and we can say that until the Bitcoin dominance tops, let's say hypothetically this comes all the way up to, let's say this is around about 60%. This is obviously I'm overlaying the dominance over on the total crypto market chart. So on the y-axis, we actually have the market cap for the altcoins. So you can see, let's say we move up to here, let's just call this 60%. What we could expect after coming up to 60%, which is what I've got over on this chart, like I said, I think this is going to come up, if hypothetically the Bitcoin dominance comes all the way up to 60%, and then we start to see it trickle down, you know, we put in a higher low, and then we start to trickle down, that is going to be the moment in time when I think when I think we should be buying altcoins. Now, you might be thinking, you know, what if I miss that? What if I miss buying altcoins after Bitcoin has bottomed? And this is where I want to segue over into the final part of this video, because I think a lot of people are thinking that as soon as Bitcoin bottoms, like the second, or rather, as soon as the Bitcoin dominance tops and Bitcoin bottoms, that is their only window to buy altcoins, and they'll never be able to buy altcoins that cheap again. That is what we're going to talk about in this video, and I've got 3 different charts to compare with. I'm going to be talking about how Cardano did after Bitcoin had its bear market bottom. I'm going to be talking about how Ethereum did after Bitcoin's bear market bottom, and then we're also going to be checking on how XRP did. I could go through a million different ones. We could go through Zcash, Monero, Litecoin, all of the OG coins back in 2018, but these all basically have the same chart. So, you know, if you're looking to do more research by yourself, I definitely recommend going and checking out some of the altcoins back in 2018, like the ones I just mentioned, you know, Litecoin, Monero, Zcash, tons of privacy coins, all of that good stuff, and checking out what happened, because Bitcoin bottomed on these 3 vertical lines. You can see I've very conveniently placed this out for you so you can visualize the data a lot easier. These yellow vertical lines going through the charts on ADA, ETH, and XRP signify exactly where Bitcoin had its bottom against the US dollar. Now, let's check out what ADA did after Bitcoin had its bear market bottom. And I've talked about this before, but I wanted to just make a whole video encompassing what happens when Bitcoin bottoms in the bear market. And I also just wanted to talk about this that we just went through, because, you know, I still have people asking me when is the right time to buy altcoins, and I think this video basically sums up all of my thoughts on that matter. So let's jump right into the final part of the video. Let's quantify Cardano against Bitcoin, and let's look at what happened when Bitcoin bottomed in 2018. You can see Bitcoin bottomed and Bitcoin actually pumped and came back. If we come over to the weekly chart for Bitcoin, I'll show you exactly what happened. So for some period of time, Bitcoin had its bottom and it went on a big rally for the next couple of months, the next half a year or so really. But what happened after that is we capitulated and we came all the way back down. But what did we do? We made a lower high. We made a lower high that was 20 or a higher high. Sorry, I meant higher high. We had a 26% increase in terms of the higher high. So that was great. From this bottom to this bottom, Bitcoin managed to grow 26%, and then we were off to the races. But what happened with these altcoins? So these altcoins, you can see ADA, Ethereum, XRP, they all had these little bounces. You know, ADA actually did very well. It went up 124% while Bitcoin was moving up. And this is against Bitcoin. This is not against the US dollar. I'm talking about how these altcoins performed against Bitcoin. Ethereum as well outperformed Bitcoin by 60% within the next month after Bitcoin started to have that rally. What did XRP do? XRP outperformed Bitcoin by a measly 23%. And then what happened? Bitcoin had its high, it came down from 14,000 and it came all the way down to make a higher low at round about $4,000 flat. So it made a higher low. What did the altcoins do against Bitcoin? Did they make a higher low? No, they didn't. They made a lower low. You can see this is where Bitcoin bottomed, and Cardano actually went down from its low. If I delete this for a second so I can actually get it to the low, Cardano went down another 55% against Bitcoin. Bear in mind, this is not the US dollar. This is how these altcoins are performing against Bitcoin. Let's check out what Ethereum did. So Ethereum, from the pump, or should we say from the low, because that's what we just did. From the low, it went down a further 38% against Bitcoin. What did XRP do? Well, XRP, it really never had a bull run. It really never recovered. I think a lot of people who are fans of XRP might just want to look at this. You know, since Bitcoin bottomed in the 2018 bear market, XRP is 85% down against Bitcoin, meaning that at no point in time in the past, well, in the entire existence of XRP, you can even see from these lows down here, you would have had to buy the exact bottom And even then, you'd only be up like 2x or almost 3x against Bitcoin. But every other time, you know, if you bought this anywhere in this range, then you're down against Bitcoin. So I don't want to make this whole video about me just bashing XRP. I'm going to jump back into the point. And the point of the matter is, people think when Bitcoin has its bear market bottom, that is the perfect time to DCA altcoins for the long term. And I disagree. I think the data shows that if you buy the exact bottom on Bitcoin and you buy altcoins, expect a swing trade. I think that's what I'm going to be doing. This is what I'm going to be doing. This is my plan. When I think Bitcoin's bottomed, and bear in mind, I'm not going to make a whole TA video about where I think Bitcoin's bottoming, but I will tell you my price target. I think we're coming down to the 200-week moving average at 23,000. That's all I'm going to say about that matter. But like I said, you know, look at how long these cryptos went sideways against Bitcoin. Cardano went sideways for almost 800 days before it managed to pump back up above its bear market low against Bitcoin. Ethereum went sideways for 840 days after Bitcoin bottomed. XRP has been going down the entire time, so, you know, there's only so much I can say about that. But like I said, do not think that as soon as Bitcoin bottoms, that is the perfect time to buy altcoins. I think once Bitcoin bottoms, if you're buying altcoins as a swing trade over the next month or so, that completely makes sense. That is what I'm going to be doing. When I think Bitcoin is bottoming at 23,000, I am going to be buying a handful of altcoins like Solana, Cardano, etc., maybe Ethereum, that I do believe will outperform Bitcoin in the short term. But bear in mind, when you are in this bear market, or at least what we've done previously, when you do come back down to make that big macro higher low, bear in mind this was, you know, a pandemic scare, so it might not be as brutal. We might only come down and do something like this before we head up the next time. I also do believe there's going to be diminished returns, both to the upside and the downside, meaning we shouldn't go as low as we think, you know, based on previous cycles. But I still do think altcoins, once Bitcoin has its bear market low, they're going to bounce against Bitcoin, and then when Bitcoin comes back down, double bottoms, confirms the bottom, makes an inverse head and shoulders, makes a W pattern, whatever it decides to do when it makes its bear market bottom signal, I think that is the time to buy some altcoins, swing trade them, hold them for a month or so, because you can see, you know, ETH outperformed for 1 to 3 weeks, XRP outperformed for I think 2 or 3 weeks, and ADA outperformed for significantly longer than that. But like I said, the longer and longer you're holding them, then the more risk you take. I'd be looking to buy some altcoins as a swing trade once Bitcoin has its bear market low, but I will not be macro DCAing altcoins for the next bull run until Bitcoin comes back and confirms a double bottom structure. Hope this video helps some of you. Welcome to the channel if you are new to the channel as well. And like I said, these charts are inversely correlated. So the main takeaway, oh, wrong chart, total 2, Bitcoin dominance. So the main takeaway from this video is keep your eyes on the Bitcoin dominance. So many people think altcoins are still bullish. So many people think altcoins are going to the moon. Keep your eye on the Bitcoin dominance. If the Bitcoin dominance keeps on going up, altcoins are going to get absolutely wrecked against Bitcoin. Like I said, hope you found some value in this video. As always, Galway out. Peace.